Our mission statement is that we take children from crisis to new creation. And that new creation part is the most important aspect of what we do. If we did nothing else, we would give children the gospel. But that invitation isn't just for the children. I've seen so many people, whether it be hearing this message in a crowded room or on a tour, later be able to come back and say, you know what, that message was for me too.
I'm not quite sure how I found Still Creek. I'm not sure what I was searching for, but whatever the case was, it was definitely it was the Lord that led me to them. I remember finding them and immediately just kind of falling in love with them and making them a favorite on my Internet Explorer toolbar, so I wouldn't forget about them. At that time, I didn't feel like we were in a position to give, and they're a good 3 hours away from us, so it's not easy to get down there and volunteer. But I didn't want to forget who they were, so I left them as that favorite. Fast forward a couple of years, and I found grace in my own life, and the big want that I had had to do something for Still Creek, we now had an opportunity to do. Contemplated how I was gonna send them some money. In the end, we just decided to just drop a check in the mail and put a thank you note in the memo field, is sort of saying thank you for serving as the hands and feet of Christ the way you do.
The next thing you know, there's a couple whose name came across my desk, and that was Jason and Erica Ray. And I didn't know Jason and Erica, and I just wanted to thank him for his beginning involvement with the ranch, but also I just wanted to know how he had become involved. And from that has come this really great story about how he watched Margaret's video years ago and saved us on his web browser, knowing that someday he would want to get involved. Jason and Erica's daughter Christine came down to help paint the gym. One of the things that they did is they disappeared for a little while, and while they were gone, or when they came back from being gone, they had brought items for the pantry, things that they had looked on the shelf and saw that the shelf was empty in those ways. So just proactively, they went into the pantry themselves and saw a need, and they disappeared for a while. When they came back, they had a truckload full of groceries that they put in that pantry. And one of the really fun things for me was watching how much fun they had watching those items disappear from the pantry shelf.
Christine's our oldest, who's 16, and has shared a lot about Still Creek at school with her friends and her mentors, and so much so she would love Still Creek to come to her school and share their organization with her whole school. And her heart was so big for it that they looked at her as a great person to be a chaplain for the 7th and 8th grade kids, just seeing her love for the kids. And that all really sparked with her just being introduced to Still Creek and seeing her dad go and serve, and then even her having an opportunity to go down to Still Creek and get to paint the gym and interact with some kids and James and his family. And it's really softened her heart and opened the kids' eyes. So that's been really cool to be a part of.
Margaret was known for pressing keys into the soil here in prayer walking. And if you were to ask her, why are you pressing keys into the soil or pitching these keys out, she would always say that prayer was the keys to the kingdom. And so here we are today. One of the things I know that I have from Jason and Erica above everything else is I know that I have their prayer support.
Yep, Margaret was great to have a clear vision, kind of a big picture view of what she wanted to happen and work backwards. And I see that in James as well. It doesn't matter the day-to-day trials that come up. He's not deterred from what he wants to happen long term. He doesn't waver from the vision that Christ has given him for what he sees is going to happen in that place. He gets up every day and he just keeps going at it. Doesn't matter what he faced the day before, how long the day was, he wakes up and he does it again. And you see that same example followed in his house parents.
So when we started looking at this idea of Vision 2020, and you look at the Old Testament, it says, without a vision, the people will perish. And so the idea was that by the end of 2020, that we would be helping up to 46 children at one time. We want to house residentially 46 children here at the ranch and be their home and be their school and be their family. So one of the take-home messages, I think, from this is that you can get involved in so many different ways here. And in fact, I would love to see more relationships like what we have with Jason and Erica. What that could look like is a tour of the ranch. I think you really can't appreciate all that you're doing to help the ranch unless you come see it firsthand. So let me just make this invitation to everybody that hears this, is that we would love to give you a personal tour of the ranch. It really does change your perspective, and I know for a fact that that's one of the things that changed Jason and Erica's perspective, was especially Jason's ability to see the ranch through my eyes, walking side by side, working on projects together, seeing the kids. While Jason was here, he got to know some of the faces, knows the kids by name. That makes all the difference in the world. I know that those are the kinds of relationships that we've got to have to take this ranch another 30 years. And so my question to everybody that hears this is, wouldn't you want to have that same kind of relationship? Wouldn't you want to know our kids to that same level? And my invitation is to come on out and let's make that happen.